Hello, you're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli. Now, the Supreme Court has questioned the practice of Talaq-e-Hasan, a form of divorce among a section of women of Muslims. The apex court also flagged the issue of husbands, lawyers sending talaq notices to wives. Hearing a PIL by journalist Benazir Hina, who challenged the constitutional validity of such a divorce, the court asked whether a civilized society should allow this kind of practice. This comes as a bench of justices Suryakant, Ujay Bhoyan and N. Koteshwar Singh is hearing pleas challenging Talaq-e-Hasan. The lead petition against Talaq-e-Hasan filed by Hina claimed that her husband sent her the first notice of talaq through a speed post on April 19. Reportedly, the second and third notices were delivered in the subsequent months. The journalist argued that this divorce practice is irrational, arbitrary and violates Articles 14, 15, 21 and 25 of the Constitution. Hina told the apex court about her ordeal since her husband sent a talaq notice through his advocate. Her counsel said she risked being accused of polyandry, and as the talaq notice did not carry the husband's signature and was sent by his advocate. The woman said that as she has not been able to prove she is divorced, her 4-year-old child has been denied admission to schools and she is also struggling to get her passport. According to her counsel, Hina's husband only gave her a lump sum amount of Rs 17,000. The journalist also said that her husband has remarried and moved on, while she is facing difficulty in proving her divorce. The Supreme Court has indicated it may refer the challenge to the validity of Talaq-e-Hasan to a larger 5-judge constitution bench. I have my guest joining me on the broadcast. I have Ambassador Bhaswati Mukherjee, who's a former diplomat. I also have B.L. Vora, who's a former DGP and Home Secretary of Manipur. Sharavish Rain, Advocate, Supreme Court, and Joyita Basu, Editor, TSG. I want to first go across to Ambassador Bhaswati Mukherjee, who's a former diplomat. Ambassador Mukherjee, I want your opening comments to begin with.
Well, my opening comments are as follows. The Supreme Court has already deemed as unconstitutional the practice of triple talaq. This appears to be a variation of triple talaq, Talaq-e-Hasan, because it has striking similarities. It has to be issued over a 3-month period of time. But in the case of triple talaq, for instance, there had to be 2 witnesses present. That does not seem to be the case in the way you've explained it in Talaq-e-Hasan. Moreover, it appears to be completely unconstitutional because it goes against the equal rights of men and women promised in the Indian Constitution. In this particular case also, the 17,000 that you're referring to is the money that is given in an Islamic marriage to the bride at the time of marriage. When there is a talaq, when there is a divorce, the arrangements for alimony, support and child support are always worked out in advance in our country. This system of Talaq-e-Hasan does not exist, I checked rapidly, in most Islamic countries. For that matter, triple talaq had been outlawed in Saudi Arabia several years before we declared it to be unconstitutional here in India. So I would say that this is a travesty of equal rights for women. In this particular case, you are saying the husband has married and moved on, but the child of the legal marriage to his wife, who has not accepted the divorce because it's not a constitutional and legal divorce, the child is having difficulty getting admitted to school, and she has been left with no means at all to support herself or to support her child. So I think that this is something which calls for rapid Supreme Court action. I hope that they will deal with it rapidly, that they will strike it down as being against the Indian Constitution, and at the same time I hope that well-meaning individuals, regardless of religion, come forward to help this poor woman who's facing such a terrible problem, and to also help in finding her child an education system so that the child, girl or boy, was not clear from what you said, is able to go back to school, and the child must be completely traumatized by what has been happening. So it is really terrible that in 2025 such situations can happen to Indian citizens, and that they have to go all the way to the Supreme Court to get their equal rights and guaranteed under the Constitution restored to them.
I want to go
Vaishak.
across to Shamshravesh Rain, who is an advocate of the Supreme Court. Now, Mr. Rain, you know, this reminds me of a film that I've recently seen, which is called Haq, and that's, of course, based on the landmark Shah case that we all know about. So this is very, very similar to that particular case that happened. But my question to you is that, you know, under the Special Marriage Act, is this even allowed, that the husband has sent a document by the lawyer, signed by the lawyer? Is this even permitted?
Hi, yes. To start it from talaq basically means that 3 times you have to pronounce, the man has to pronounce talaq. That is when talaq would happen. So as per the Islamic law, it was that you should not be in anger. You should be complete in your senses, not in a anger state of a mind, or else in a alcoholic state of a mind, or any other mind. It should be a calm mind, wherein you in your own senses you are taking a talaq, and in 3 times you will give a talaq, that too in a gap of a month. This is what the Islamic law was. So triple talaq, what eventually people started doing is like, if I'm standing right in front of you, I will straight away say talaq, 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 and it used to happen. So this is what the Supreme Court, as per the judgment of Shah Bano, there was a 5 judges bench who said that out of which three were in the favor of the judgment, and two were against it. So in that judgment, it was said that instant talaq will not be legal. So as per the Islamic law, when they have said that 3 times talaq can be done, and in a month's time, so that is what this came in, that okay, we will send a notice via a lawyer, though that husband can also send a notice. Notice means in a writing that I am giving you talaq. So because of the language, because of the terms, so these people, these men, ask their advocate to just draft it and then send it in a proper legal format, so that in court also, if something wrong happens, if someone says that no, this talaq is not legal, at least that could be challenged and said that this is as per the judgment. So coming back to Tota's order, what the court said, that this is something that has been happening, which is wrong, that should not happen. But since the judgment was passed by 5 judges bench, so that's why, and the judges who are hearing this matter, it is they are 3 in this case. So that's why they were talking about that the matter should be referred to a 5 judges bench, because it's only 5 or else 7 who can edit the judgment, who can review the judgment and then make the amendments in that judgment. So that's why they are talking about referring the matter to a 5 judges bench. So coming back to this case that we are talking about, so this person who had sent a document in a form of a notice, that this is a formal document that I am giving you talaq. So he did that in three segments. That is what can be legalized here. But if you see that this Hina, the client who has approached the honorable court, she is saying that she wanted to apply for the passport and she has to go to get the admission done or something. So the facts are not clear in the news, but then they're looking at the complete law point. This person, the man and the wife, can go to court, seek a proper decree in this matter, that this is the kind of we have submitted. I have given three times notice, and then the divorce has been declared. So the court will give you a decree, and as per that decree, you can apply for your document or whatever. So that is the legal process that happens. But this lady, because she was aggrieved of that divorce that had happened to her. She said that why should I go to a court and then seek a decree over there? This itself, this completely itself is wrong, because 17,000 which he has given to her, that is called meher, which at the time of marriage, that that was promised that a certain amount would be paid to you. But then again, 17,000 is not an amount to be, if you have to see that the marriage was done when and all. But still, 17,000 is not a amount for the maintenance at all. So her fight is not only for the divorce; it is for the maintenance as well. That you can just run out of it. You just simply say triple talaq in the form of 3 legal notice, and then you just pay me 17,000, and then you expect me to go to the court and run from pillar to post, get a judgment for maintenance of the wife and the child. So that's why this lady, as per what I could understand, this lady has come to courts saying that this three notice incomplete is a wrong one, because because I was never heard. And whereas when a divorce happens, it is the wife who is also heard and the husband, both are heard in the court. The court actually decides that, oh, all right, the custody of the child will be where, who will pay how much for the maintenance of the child and the wife and all, and then the decree is passed in that case. So this, because she is from the media house, and she knows that if she approaches court, it would become a good, of course it is wrong that is happening, but then for her, she knows that it is necessary now for her to approach court, because though as per that judgment, that 3:5 Shahbano judgment, triple talaq was made illegal, but still this clause also, wherein a 3 notice has to be sent, this in self, though court has not said that it is illegal, but this, as per the woman, the Muslim woman, it is wrong, because I cannot ask my right. I can only just get that notice and then sit quiet. That is where it is wrong, and that is why it is challenged in the court, and that is why court is saying that the matter should be referred to 5 judges bench. And as a Muslim myself, I would say that yes, it's completely wrong. If anyone wants a divorce, be it the wife or the husband, that should go to court. Let the court decide whether the divorce should be granted or not. Just because you could see that खाने में नमक ज़्यादा था, something or the other, or else the wife is not listening to the parents, that's why he wants a divorce. These are the subjects, so petty issues, wherein these men give a divorce to a lady. So they don't understand that a woman comes to a place, it's not you have bought a phone from a shop and then you are the phone is not working and you are returning it back. A person has come to you in a very legal manner. So in case you are not willing to live with her anymore, you have to ask her in a proper manner, going to a court and then giving her a proper justification for a divorce, along with all the maintenance, because she is the one who has compromised majorly, from her body to when she delivers a child, to from her body to her career to her house, because your own house is the safest place. So your safest place, your the best place in your life is your own house. So a woman leaves that, comes to a man's house, and then she is thrown out just like that from the man's house. That is what the issue is. So that's why this judgment is very important, and you will see in the near future that Shahbano judgment would be amended, and this also point will come in it, that no, for any kind of a divorce, you have to go to court. We understand the notice of that triple talaq. In case court also thinks that, or all right, there is kind
Ms.
of
Rain,
a
I'll come back to you because I need to
law.
bring in my other guests also into the conversation. I want to go across to Joyita Basu, editor, TSG. Now, Joyita, the court has said, I mean, there's also a concern that's being raised about polyandry here. And because the bench has said something very, very impactful, I'd like to quote. So they've said that, now an advocate, the bench has said that now will an advocate start granting divorce? Tomorrow, what will happen? if a client disowns the advocate. We salute this woman who has chosen to fight for her right, but there may be a poor woman who does not know how to approach and have resources. The husband can always come and say that you're indulging in polyandry. What do you have to say for that?
Well, first of all, let's get one thing very clear. You know, just because there are loopholes in that triple talaq ban, in terms of what the Supreme Court has talked about, you know, let us find out what are the other forms of talaq that are there in Islam, or what these guys claim to be, you know, Islam has, you know, whoever is exploiting this. Just because that these loopholes exist does not mean that these are illegal. Okay, maybe till now no judgment has been given in terms of saying that these bidat and whatever terms that they use, you know, these two things that they are talking about, you know, this talaq is different, but that talaq is slightly different. You know, I do not want to go into the legal nitty-gritties, because it's only those who specialize in Islamic law, and personal law in particular, they will be able to talk about it. But if you look at it, take a long overview, everything is illegal, because you see, after all, it's about exploitation of women, and it is about, you know, dehumanizing women. It is about dehumanizing a woman's right to existence. And as it has been mentioned already, when you talked about as well the poor woman's part of it, she may or may not know. The thing is, this is how women are exploited. And as the Supreme Court said, in the 21st century, how can such laws exist? You cannot, you know, no one, and this applies to each and every community in India, no one can use the excuse of personal law to say that a woman's body, her position in society can be exploited by men, maybe other members of a particular family, or even her own family. Not done. Blanket ban, stop everything. That is the only way to go about it. I don't even, you know, talking about polyandry and all, why are we even discussing this? Stop this practice right now, because triple talaq, in whatever form it is illegal. And we are not going to get into the question about, you know, personal laws. Sorry, as far as a woman is concerned, personal laws like this should not apply, do not apply. It is for the safety of the women that all forms of triple talaq should be banned.
All right. I want to also go across to B.L. Vohra, former DGP and Home Secretary of Manipur, who's also joining me. Now, Mr. Vohra, you know, the bench has also said that this is not how a civilized modern society functions. And is this how the dignity of a woman should be upheld? Because, you know, the bench has also spoken about the ego of this husband, that, you know, they've actually questioned him, and they've said that, you know, what has stopped him from directly contacting his ex-wife? Why did he have to go through with his lawyer or any other person? What do you have to say for that?
Ms. Vaishali, it's a case of gross injustice. It's against natural justice, what has been done. Now, the Supreme Court has very rightly made all the correct observations, including saying, how can you ask XYZ to go and tell kind of that give divorce on my behalf? I think the least first the Supreme Court should do and the woman should ask for is asking for admission of the child in the school. Supreme Court can give directions, admission will be straight away. In this particular case I'm talking of, passport issue, Supreme Court can issue an order, it can be done. At least look at the difficulties, and then we come to the other questions. I think it's good that the Supreme Court has asked both the parties to make a list of issues, what are the questions involved, then they will decide whether it should go to a larger bench or not. And I think it will go in all probability. But the observations which they have made, I think are, we all of us, all the panelists, my co-panelists here, we are all expressing the same sentiments what the Supreme Court has said. This should not be done. It's not done in any civilized society. And how you are treating women, you're not even as a commodity, perhaps, still worse than that. So I think that As far as I'm concerned, these steps should be taken, and maybe the Shah Banu's case, also the verdict, can be widened, revised, whatever, and say all kinds of talaqs like these are banned under the law, and I think that is what should happen. It's very important that it must happen. Vaishali.
Ambassador Bhaswati Mukherjee, former diplomats with me as well. Now, Ambassador Mukherjee, you know, the woman is absolutely in a lot of trouble currently as well, because a man has only given her 17,000 rupees. And she's also mentioned that her husband is remarried and moved on, while she's facing difficulty in proving her divorce. So, of course, she's having problems with getting her 4-year-old child also admitted to schools. He's being denied education. So, what do you have to say for that?
First of all, I'd like to make some clarifications after hearing my colleague Shramshavesh. I am an expert on Islamic history, medieval Indian history. I'd like to make some clarifications here. First of all, when the triple talaq was introduced, people say it came from the Quran, though it's not followed in most Islamic countries. It was not just that the talaq should not be said in anger, as she said. She's quite right. It was supposed to be said after 3 menstrual cycles of the woman over a 3-month period, and in front of 2 witnesses. Each time the witness would record that the person is saying talaq, 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 then after 1 menstrual cycle, second time, etc. That was the system laid out in the Quran, which was such a long period ago. It may have been okay at that time. It doesn't apply to the world of 2025. That's the first point. Secondly, as an MEA person, I can tell you, Vaishali, that a woman is no longer obliged to give her husband's name on the passport. Even if she is married, she can give her father's name. She does not have to give her husband's name. Similarly, when the child is going to a school, the child need not have the father's name, only needs the name of one parent, mother or father. So I don't know which outdated institution this poor child is being taken to, and certainly I can tell you, as a person who's done diplomacy for 40 years, we changed our passport forms long time ago. I myself never gave my husband's name on my passport. I always gave my father's name, because I thought it was a question of my identity. I'm a Mukherjee, I will remain a Mukherjee, regardless of whether I'm married or not married. This was changed long time ago. Now let me come to the case in question. This 17,000 rupees, as was pointed out, it's called meher in Islamic law. It is the amount of money given to the woman in case she is kicked out of the house in an unfair manner. Then she falls back on her meher, or it is a kind of a part of the marriage ritual. It is not supposed to be alimony for a wife and child under any circumstance. Moreover, in the India of 2025, it is for all of us to ensure, as Vohra Sahib said, that this unconstitutional law, which is at variance with the Indian Constitution, should be struck down, so that if there is a dispute between a man and a woman who is married, they go to court and the court decides. An advocate cannot decide. Moreover, I would ask you this question, Desha, that in the time of Prophet Muhammad, is it possible that the Prophet Muhammad would have said that please bring an advocate? Advocate should carry a piece of paper to where the wife is staying and pronounce divorce? Not at all. This is what is called distortion of religious practices. It happens in every religion. Why just Islam? I can give you so many other examples. Never ever in Quranic law would it have been written that an advocate has the right to represent the estranged husband, take a piece of paper to the wife, and to say that your husband has divorced you. Who are you? You are an advocate. You have no power at all to pronounce divorce. You are neither a religious person nor are you a judge. I think the advocate who carries that paper should also be taken to court and be penalized for misusing his powers. If this is what they are doing, and if this is happening to Muslim women since we became independent till 2025, I feel very sorry that I did not know about it. I feel very sorry for all these poor women who must have suffered in this manner, and I demand that this law be granted unconstitutional as soon as possible by the Supreme Court, so that there are equal rights for men and women in this country that I personally, being a professional woman, thought we had. I never ever realized, I ever thought that this talaq-e-Hasan, which is not followed in Saudi Arabia, it's not followed in Egypt, it's not followed in Kuwait, it's being followed in India, a secular country. I think there is a limit to the kind of contradictions we have in our society, and it's high time that we put an end to it. And this whole business of personal law, what personal law? The Hindu personal law was finished off long time ago. Otherwise, under Hindu personal law, a girl could never inherit her father's property. So we finished off all that. We didn't accept this kind of Hindu personal law at all. So why should we accept any personal law that is anti-women? We must declare it unconstitutional. Vaishali.
You know, you've made such good points, Ambassador Mukherjee, that it's brilliant. You've just nailed it right there. And viewers, you know, I've just recently seen this film and I'm insisting that you go and see it yourself, because this will give you an overview of what Shah Bano also went through just because she filed that case many years ago against her husband. How archaic the system really is and how it needs to be rectified. Now, Joyita Basu, I'll conclude with your comments. Your final comments, Joyita. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. The thing is that, you see, the time has come. Let's put it this way. Whatever, it is the women whose right is fundamental. So when it comes to women, nothing should come in the way. Now, if that is the fundamental principle, that is the sole principle we work on, I'm certain, and this is something even women from the Muslim community will have to come out. You know, the problem that happened with the triple talaq ban was that it was shown as anti-Islam, which it was not. It was about women, and particularly Indian women. In this case also, let us not politicize the issue. Let us stick to our path and ask for a complete ban, a complete everything, as Ambassador Mukherjee said, unconstitutional, and any form of triple talaq. Okay, I mean, how can you ban something, you know, and these are technical nitty-gritties you are bringing in. If the advocate goes and says something, that becomes legal, and if the husband does it 3 times, that becomes illegal. What sort of, what sort of interpretation is that? So for this, I believe that, you know, Muslim women should take the lead, and women in general, Indian women in general, should speak out and insist that this must be done, that all forms of such talaqs should be declared unconstitutional.
All right, and viewers, of course, this case has started a discussion that must be had, and with that, I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me on the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching, viewers, and with that, it's a wrap from me. Stay tuned to NewsX.